Everybody says, you're gonna do what? You're gonna fly where? Those kind. We were in the business of fixing those kind of airplanes. That usually involved flying them from where they were to a place to fix them. And sometimes that involved short trips, sometimes it involved long trips. One little trip I'll share with you. There's nobody, by chance, there's no one here from the Mexican tax authority, is there?
Or the FAA, or that.
We had been called to a town called Cuernavaca in Mexico by a state senator. This state senator had this airplane that was broken. And the pilot had run it off the runway once, and we had repaired it for him, sent it home, and about a month later, same thing, same pilot. So my partner in business and I went down to talk to the senator about repairing his airplane again. And after a long evening of tequila shots and Lord knows what all, he decided that he didn't like that airplane. There was just something wrong with it. And he felt like he would like to not own it any longer. And us being two gringos from the States, we decided, well, hell, we'll just own that airplane. So we decided upon a price, and money changed hands, and the airplane now belonged to these two gringos in Oklahoma City. With the assurance that the good senator, and with all of his political power, he would bring it all to bear for us to help with all the paperwork involved in exporting this airplane out of Mexico. What he neglected to tell us was, when you import an airplane into Mexico, you pay a duty on it, usually about half the value of the airplane. So we're talking about quite a few dollars. And he had been dancing around with the authorities, and every 89 days he would change the tail number on the airplane, which gave him another 90 days to go without paying a tax. He'd done this for quite a while. But he assured us it was not a problem, and that when we got the airplane ready to fly, we could fly it out of there. So, guess who I called? Bob. Bob, we got one to bring out of Mexico. Okay, where? I told him, oh man, it's lovely down there. When's it going to be ready? They'll be ready in about a week, okay? So we go down with the crew and get the airplane ready to fly semi-safely. And Bob arrived on the scene, and I could not get any paperwork. And I'm usually pretty good at getting paperwork with the Mexicans. All it takes is to use the arrows, and things go pretty good. What I could not understand was why I was having so much paperwork I had to have and couldn't get it. And then we found out that our good friend, the senator, who had all the clout, had not won re-election. And the only way the government down there had of getting any money out of him was that airplane, who, needless to say, now belong to these two gringos from Oklahoma. So Make a long story short, after many dollars and many trips, and who knows what all we had to pay for, we finally got authorization to move the airplane out of Cuernavaca to another small airport, but no further. And the whole ordeal started again. More paperwork, more money, more time. So to make a long story short, took about 2 months, we finally were able to get the airplane to Pedro Negros. Those of you who don't know where that is, that's a small town down in Mexico, right across the river. What's the town there, Bob? Eagle Pass. Good place to cross, Bob says. No problem. I know this.
Bring this all home.
Okay. So we land, and during the course of the landing, our temporary repair became non-temporary, and nose gear fell out again. And we went sliding down the runway on main gears and a nose cone. So we finally talked them into letting us borrow the building that they stored their fire truck in so we could work on it. So we got the airplane ready to fly again, and the good colonel that was the commandante of this airport said, Mr. Jose said, I cannot let you leave with that airplane. He said, it would cost me my job and maybe my life. He said, the word is out that that airplane is absolutely, under no conditions, to leave Mexico. He said, every person in the airport business has been notified. No way, don't leave. For fear of God, don't let that airplane leave. So, we tried everything possible. He would not take a bribe. He would not take anything. And so there we sat. So Bob and I we get Bob's car, which is in San Antonio, and we drive back to Oklahoma City. Fortunately, I had the bill of sale already made out and had foreseen something happening, and a good senator had signed it. So the airplane legally belonged to me. So I just merely re-registered the airplane, in the United States, as you have to do. And they in turn assigned an N number to that airplane. So I tell Bob, he said, is this legal? I said, well, Bob, depending on how you look at it. It's going to be pretty legal. I said, it's going to have an N number on it. That makes it U.S. registered, which means the Mexican government has no authority over that airplane. Don't you agree, Bob? Bob said, well, yeah, sounds good to me. So we go back down there. We got a friend that flies down there and shoot down, and we get everything going. And so I go in and march in with the commandante, and I say, Commandante, this airplane is now a U.S. registered airplane. I'm going to, as a registered FAA mechanic, apply the new tail number to that airplane. So I had bought many, many cans of hoo-hoo paint. I had a lot of white. Then I covered up all the Mexican registrations with my spray cans. And then I freehanded the new N number on the side of it, again with a spray can. There it is, Colonel. I said, it's all legal. And I said, I'm signing in the book that I've done this and it's ready to go. Okay, no. You don't know the problem that you've created. I said, well, I got to get this airplane home. I'm tired of coming down here all the time. And here we argued and argued and argued and argued and argued. And Paul said, what are we going to do? man, I don't know, think of something. And the commandant says, Mr. Holmes, he said, be in my office at 10:30 in the morning, and we'll discuss this. Remember, 10:30. I said, yes, sir, I understand. So at 8:30 next morning, guess where we were? We were at the airport, fueled the airplane, and we proceeded to leave. Jumped the border, landed on the U.S. side. Now we're dealing with the U.S. And we went, Bob said, I know the people in customs and immigration, we'll go right through this. And they did, they let us right through it, no problem. So we immediately topped it off with fuel, and we left for Oklahoma City just fast so we could get out of town. We made it safely home, no more nose gear incidents. But about 2 weeks later, as I recall, Bob starts getting phone calls. And it's his friends on the other side of the border saying, Bob, what in the world did you guys do there? There's people everywhere, from every department that exists in Mexico, looking for you. But you're the pilot of registry. I said, Bob, maybe you shouldn't have flown that far. He said, you were with me? I said, you signed it though, buddy. And so needless to say, they were quite upset that the airplane had flown the coop, and we got the airplane home, fixed it, repaired it, and sold it. It was only through my good friend Bob and his legal interpretation that I followed to the letter. You didn't know he was a lawyer, did you? But we got the airplane home. That's just one of the many tales about him I could tell you. Some of them I don't want to tell you because they involve me even further. Bob was my go-to man. Anytime I needed some advice or anytime I needed to see if I could get an airplane ferry to Japan, anything like that, it was always go to Bob. Bob, he knew how to get it done. And I consider it a great thing for me to be able to call this man friend. I've learned a lot from him. A lot of it I put to task at times. Some of it I probably should have not learned, but I did. And again, I consider him to be a great friend and a great man. And I think you all are lucky because you know him, as I know him. He's a good guy.